Have you ever looked at like an intermediate English textbook, specifically that dreaded B1 level, and felt your brain just completely freeze up?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you are definitely not alone in that. It happens to almost everyone.
Right. But what if the secret to conquering B1 English isn't about memorizing more abstract rules,
Yeah.
but simply connecting the language to your everyday, actual Brazilian reality? Good morning, everyone. I'm Professor Paulo.
And I am Professor Mariana, and we are so incredibly thrilled to be here with you today to help you make those exact connections.
It is a beautiful Monday morning, June 22, 2026, and we are diving deep into the newest class notes for our English Conversations course.
Yes, we are.
We are looking specifically at the amazing progress of Group T243. I mean, they are absolutely rocking their CEFRL B1 level, and we're coming to you proudly from Academia BSB Cursos Inteligentes.
That's right. And our mission here is quite simple, but, deeply powerful. We are dedicated to empowering adult women to learn English online using our completely original methodology and our digital platform.
Exactly. And the theme for today's deep dive into the class notes is it's absolutely perfect for that mission. The theme is, who run the world? Girls.
Which is such a massive anthem. I love it.
It really is. We are going to cover daily vocabulary, fix up some tricky pronunciation, master comparatives, and even analyze a Beyoncé hit. But wait, I have to ask you, why do adult learners get so intimidated by B1 materials in the first place?
Well, honestly, I think it's because the language feels distant, but the secret is simply tying it to your real life. Once you link the English material to your actual routines and your goals, the fear just kind of melts away.
That makes total sense. So let's jump into the vocabulary section of our current class with that exact mindset. Because to run the world, you need the right words, right?
Exactly. So let's look at the words. First, we have previous, which is your translation for anterior. So you might say, my previous job was very stressful.
Right.
Then we have last, meaning ultimo. Like last night, I watched a movie.
Yeah, that's a super common one.
Next is to be married, which is ser casado ou casada. She is happily married. Then the verb to sell, meaning vendor. I want to sell my old car.
I always notice how our daily lives just revolve around these transactions, like the word salary, meaning salario.
Yes, exactly.
We use our salary to, invest in our education or buy groceries. And speaking of that, we have lunch, your almoso, and snack, which is your lunch. Like, I had an apple for a snack.
Which is so relatable. And obviously, we have to pay, and it's past tense paid, meaning pagar, I paid the bills.
Right.
And to buy, past tense bought, meaning comprar.
She bought a new dress.
Right. Oh, and we can't forget cute, meaning fofo or bonitinho. Like, that is a cute puppy.
Oh, I use cute all the time. But we also have words to describe our demeanor, like poker face. We use it just like Carta Pisagem, showing no emotion. She kept a poker face during the meeting.
That is such a good one. And then the verb intimidate, meaning intimidar. We don't want English to intimidate you. We also have reason, translating to motivo or razan, and meme, which is just universally meme on the internet.
Thank goodness for memes, right? And rounding out the list, we have the family words. Parents, your pays. Relatives, your parents. And siblings, the specific word for your moms.
Yeah, those are essential.
But thinking about expanding on these, if you have a big Brazilian family, you definitely also have cousins, the children of your aunts and uncles or nieces and nephews.
Oh, for sure.
And going back to the financial side, alongside salary, you might talk about your income, all the money coming in, or your wage, which is usually paid by the hour.
That is a wonderful way to expand it.
Yeah.
But there is one pair of words on our list that we really need to pause on. Shy versus ashamed.
Oh, man, yeah. Those constantly trip me up because in Portuguese, they often just both get translated as com vergonha or tímido. They feel like the exact same emotion.
I know, it's so confusing. But it really comes down to a timeline. Think of it this way. Shy is a personality trait. It's a hesitation before you do something.
Okay.
Imagine you're at an event and you are afraid to speak English because you're naturally quiet. You're feeling shy. It's preventative.
Right.
But ashamed is a deep feeling of guilt after you do something wrong. Like if you accidentally spilled coffee on someone's shirt, you wouldn't feel shy. You would feel ashamed. It's a reaction.
Oh, wow. That completely reframes it. Shy is the hesitation before, ashamed is the guilt after. That makes so much sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. And honestly, overcoming that shyness when speaking requires clarity in your pronunciation, which brings us to the pronunciation review from our past class.
Absolutely. When you sound clear, you stop feeling shy. And we had some tricky pairs, like the singular woman versus the plural women.
This one is wild to me. The spelling only changes at the very end from an A to an E, but the pronunciation actually shifts on the first vowel sound.
It is a total phonetic trap. The singular is woman, sounding like woo. But the plural shifts entirely to a short I, sounding like we-a-min.
We-a-min, yeah.
You have to tune your ear to the sound, not just the spelling. We also see this with free without cost versus the number 3. Brazilians often drop that VF sound, making 3 sound like tree, the plant.
Oh, I hear that all the time. Or confusing sleep with sleepy. We also had no with a silent K versus now, or new versus neo.
Exactly.
And sweet, like sugar versus suit, the clothing, some versus soon, mouth ending with a 3 versus month, and bought versus both.
Getting those right builds so much muscle memory.
Yeah.
Which actually sets up our current pronunciation drill perfectly.
Let's do it. So for this section, we are strictly following the drill format to train your ear. We will read the word, say a contextual sentence, and repeat the word at the end. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Die. The beautiful flowers in my garden died because of the cold. Die.
Live. I've lived in my city for 10 years. Leave.
Leave. I need to leave the house early today. Leave.
Come. She came to the party late last night. Come.
Go. He went to the supermarket to buy some bread. Go.
Perfect.
Okay, wait a minute, though. I have to point out that live and leave are famously confusing because the vowel sounds are just so close. Is there a physical tip to distinguish the short I from the long E?
Yes. It involves your jaw and your lips. For live, your mouth is totally relaxed. Drop your jaw slightly. It's a quick sound. Leave, leave.
Leave.
But for leave, you literally have to smile. Stretch your lips wide to make that long E sound. Leave, leave on. If you aren't smiling, you aren't saying leave.
Smile to leave. I love that. Taking it right out of the textbook into real life, which is exactly what our language usage and idioms section is all about.
We actually have a sentence from the notes for cultural context. Jesus died on the cross to save us from our sins. This shows how die and cross function together historically. But we also have some incredibly fun everyday idioms.
Yes. Like trick or treat for Halloween and running errands, which is so vital. It means doing those little daily chores, going to the bank, the bakery.
Right, the stuff that keeps life moving.
Exactly. We also have don't be a basic witch, a spooky spin on being unoriginal. To drop the ball, meaning to make a mistake, and to learn on the go, learning while actively doing something.
Let's actually role play this in a normal Brazilian scenario so you can hear how it sounds.
Let's do it.
Okay, setting the scene, we are organizing a Sunday brunch, and you just got back from the supermarket. Go.
Hey! I just spent the whole morning running errands. The supermarket was packed.
Oh, thank goodness you're back.
Yeah.
Please tell me you bought the special gourmet coffee we talked about.
Oh, no, I totally dropped the ball. I walked right past the coffee aisle and completely forgot.
Oh, come on. Don't be a basic witch. We cannot have brunch without coffee. We're just going to have to learn on the go and figure out how to make this cheap instant coffee taste fancy.
Nailed it.
See? Supernatural.
Completely. And, let's take a very quick commercial break right here. Let everyone grab a sip of their coffee, and we'll dive straight into the grammar when we come back.
Sounds great.
And we are back.
We are. And, speaking of dropping the ball with chores, it reminds me of a scenario last weekend. I was trying to balance answering student emails, doing laundry, and cooking rice all at the exact same time.
Oh, boy. Multitasking.
Exactly. I was feeling so empowered, like a total boss. But I was moving so fast, I completely forgot to put water in the rice cooker. I just turned it on with dry rice. I definitely dropped the ball on lunch.
That is amazing and so relatable. We are all constantly juggling life, right? We just reviewed our daily vocabulary, practiced our pronunciation so we don't feel shy, and learned some great idioms. But that instinct to juggle tasks, figuring out which errand is faster, which coffee is more expensive, that brings us to our grammar section.
Comparatives.
Yes. We are constantly comparing things to manage our mental load. And the class notes break this down beautifully. It's all about the size of the adjective.
Right. See, I always used to trip up because my instinct was just to put more in front of everything, like more big or more heavy.
It does feel like you have to do math before you speak. But the formula is simple. For short words, like one syllable, we just add to the end. Small becomes smaller. Heavy becomes heavier.
Okay, got it.
And if it's a short word ending in consonant, vowel consonant, like big, you double the last letter. Bigger. But then for the long words, my instinct to use more is actually correct. Right.
Exactly. For words with 2 or more syllables, use more. More useful, more expensive. But we also have structures for equality. We use as, like, She is as busy as her sister,
Oh, yeah.
and negative comparisons are not as,
Oh.
or less, plus an adjective, like less complicated.
The notes also mention gradual increases, like it's getting darker and darker. And parallel increases, which I always use all the time. The heavier your luggage, the more expensive it is.
Absolutely.
But I have to complain for a second. English spelling exceptions are so frustrating. Why does heavy drop the Y to become heavier, but shy just gets an error to become shyer?
I know, it feels so unfair.
Yeah.
But it's actually historical. Shy is a very old Germanic word. Centuries ago, when monks were handwriting texts on parchment, keeping the Y in shy helped preserve its visual identity. If they changed it to an I, it looked illegible. So shy is just a stubborn historical survivor.
Wait, really? Monks. That's actually fascinating. Knowing there's a stubborn reason makes it less annoying. And these structures are vital. In the workplace, you need affirmative sentences like, Sally is nicer. Interrogatives like, is this test more difficult? And negatives like, this road isn't so bendy.
Yes, we measure our reality all day long, which is perfectly illustrated in our reading comprehension section. This text is all about a woman's busy weekend.
The ultimate mental load.
Precisely. Let me just walk through the narrative calmly.
Huh.
So it starts on Friday. The woman worked her full shift at the office, came home, and began her second shift of house chores, making sure she didn't drop the ball.
Just Friday alone is exhausting.
Right. Then Saturday hits. She visits the allergist for an injection for asthma, which leaves her weak and sleepy.
Health issues on top of everything else.
Exactly. But the errands didn't stop. She goes to the pet shop and supermarket for lettuce, milk, toilet paper. Then that evening, with a totally depleted social battery, she attends a barbecue with her husband's boss because it's important for his career. Finally, on Sunday, she becomes a total couch potato to recover.
You know, if we expand on this for our Brazilian reality, we know what wasn't explicitly written there, that barbecue with the boss. It wasn't hot dogs, it was picanha, farofa, and she definitely had to help organize it.
Oh, 100%.
And Sunday, being a couch potato, she was probably binge-watching a Brazilian soap opera or a true crime doc on Netflix just to aggressively recharge before Monday.
I completely agree. When you visualize the text through your own life, the English stops being just words. It sticks in your brain.
And taking your reality and putting it onto the page is the goal of our writing section.
The exercise asked, who are you? What are your plans? We look at a raw first draft about a DIY staircase restoration. The student didn't have money for a bricklayer, so they used YouTube and ChatGPT to learn how to mix cement and paint the stairs.
Talk about empowerment. That is amazing. And the teacher's enhancements in the second draft really showed how to elevate your voice. The teacher didn't change the story, just improved the flow and vocabulary. Upgrading doing work to completing an important project by ourselves.
It perfectly shows how to make real-life ideas sound polished in English.
Definitely. But I'd love to propose a totally different, personalized response for our students in this specific group, Noyan and Anna Paula, using today's vocabulary.
Oh, let's hear it.
Imagine writing. Next weekend, my sister and I will use our salary to buy new materials. We will spend the morning running errands, and after we pay for everything, we won't be shy about our success, and we'll have a snack.
That is a brilliant application. You are building your own story. Now let's shift to audio-visual comprehension with the listening and watching sections, because tuning your ear to native speeds is arguably the biggest hurdle for B1 students.
I always struggled with listening exercises because native speakers blend everything together. How does the listening task solve that?
Well, the task is a gap fill comparing holidays at the beach versus the mountains. Practicing with real-life, up-to-date native materials forces your brain to adapt. A textbook won't teach you that going to sounds like gonna. Authentic materials train your ear to catch that natural rhythm.
And that rhythm is exactly what we find in the watching activity, featuring Beyoncé's video for Run the World Girls.
Yes. The command is to engage with both the lyrics and the visual storytelling. Engaging with pop culture and real-world news exposes you to slang and cultural attitudes. You aren't just learning grammar, you are learning how people actually assert power.
That cultural fluency is everything. And as we head into our final touches today, I really have to comment on Noyan and Anna Paula. They are doing phenomenal work, both individually and as a group. They are perfectly on track to solidify their CEFRL B1 level.
They absolutely are, and I have the data. Looking at the stats, comparing the past class to the current class pronunciation errors, they achieved a negative 6% phonetic deviation ratio.
A drop of 6% in phonetic errors. That is huge. They are making fewer mistakes and sounding so natural.
It is incredible. And this relates directly to our bibliographic reference today, the Beyoncé lyrics. The premise of taking charge and putting in relentless work is exactly what Noyan and Anna Paula are doing.
Yeah.
But the key is to consistently review these class notes.
You have to keep pushing because there's always a new level. And speaking of new levels, here is a sneak peek at our upcoming linguistic scope. Next class, we are diving into superlativos. So a quick cliffhanger. If today we learn how to compare two things, how do you say something is the absolute best, the ultimate top tier? You will find out next time.
I love that. And to wrap up our female empowerment theme today, I want to quote from a giant of English literature. In 1929, Virginia Woolf published an essay called A Room of One's Own. It's a critical text regarding women's independence. She argued that a woman must have money and a room of her own to write fiction. It was a call for financial space and independent voices.
That is deeply resonant. Claiming your own space, especially by mastering English, opens up the entire world to you.
It really does. Mastering B1 English is like building that room of your own, which ties perfectly into what we believe here at Academia BSB.
Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Remember, keep practicing, keep reviewing, and never forget our official motto.
It's not only about the language, it's all about communication.